Hi, I'm Denise, and this is Manifesting Your Gifts. Okay, so today's lesson is the law of revision. The law of revision, it tells you to practice this every day. Daily, you should revise and make that day conform to what you want. So let's say, for instance, you got some bad news, or you had a disagreement with someone. Revise that day the way that you wished it should have gone. And it's easier when you write it down, because when you write it down, it's like you can really make it come to life. The reason why I recommend writing it down, because you have to convince yourself in your make-believe world, or when you conform something to what you want, you have to make yourself believe that it's real. And once you start practicing this, you should do it all the time. And when you do this all the time, nothing should frustrate you. And when something does frustrate you, you realize you're not working the law of revision. Okay? Anything that happens in your life that's unsatisfactory, change it, revise it, because the power is within you. Every single problem, and this is the good news, every single problem that you have, there's a solution for it already. Because God said creation is complete. So if creation is complete, He's already worked out every single scenario possible for you to win. Because He's never lost. And He never will. So He's already worked out a solution for you. I like to remind you guys of this particular scripture because I needed this as well. So it might sound like I'm sharing all this stuff with you guys, but really I'm sharing it with myself too, because I need this on a daily basis. Every single day I need this. 1 Kings 3:5. Ask for whatever you want me to give you. Now that's powerful. We talked about this before, but this is part of the law of revision. Because you have to know that you don't have to go to people, or you don't have to go to a particular person that you may have an issue with. God said, just come to me. I'm going to work it out. Write a letter. Remember Habakkuk 2:2, he said, write that vision and make it plain. Okay? So 1 Kings 3:5. Ask for whatever you want me to give you. Don't go to people. Because sometimes when you go to someone that you've done a lot for, and you really need them, and they let you down, you start to remember all the things that you did for them. God didn't say go to someone, He said come to me. Because if you go to someone that you have done a lot for, and they let you down, you get angry. You may get disappointed. Not angry, you may get disappointed. It's like, I've been there for you, you've never been there for me. But we have to remember to go back to the word. God said, ask me what you want me to give you. He didn't say ask your neighbor. Never run away from a problem. No matter how difficult the problem may seem, never ever run away from a problem. The problem does not fix itself. You are the fixer. You are the operant power. Just because you ignore the problem or you run away from the problem, it does not mean the problem does not exist. You know, let's say for instance you're stressed and the house is a mess, the kitchen is a mess, the kids are hungry, you got work to do, and you go in the room and you pull the cover over your head and you take a nap. When you wake up, it's still there. The problem does not solve itself. You are the operant power. Rewrite your day the way you want it to be. And remember, all things are possible. All things are possible. And the master that is within you knows everything and knows how to make it happen. So let's say, for instance, you received a letter in the mail and it's not what you wanted to hear. You know, you can revise that letter to make it conform to what you want it to be. Why am I so passionate about this? Because I have an example. I bought a house through a subject to, and I missed a step. And I should have had the gentleman sign a limited power of attorney, but I didn't. Didn't know. Made a mistake. So that's what I want you to know. Even if you make a mistake, the law of revision, you can fix it. So I bought this house. I caught up on his mortgage. I gave him $5,000. I put about $35,000 in the house. I reached out to his mortgage company. Now, the house was in my name, but the loan was in his name. So I reached out to his mortgage company. They couldn't talk to me because I failed to get a limited power attorney, which gave me permission to talk to his mortgage company. But I did receive some correspondence in the mail. And it says, because you filed for bankruptcy, you got to go through your bankruptcy attorney. And I'm thinking, wow, now I've spent all this money in this house. This guy has filed bankruptcy. Let me see if I can call him. His phone is disconnected. So I stayed in the house 1 year and never made a payment. I got documentation for this. Stayed in the house 1 year and never made a payment. Then I got ready to refinance the house. But before I refinanced the house, about a month or so before I refinanced the house, I received a letter from the mortgage company that says they were getting ready to exercise. This is a letter. Remember I said letter. You can revise anything. Got a letter in the mail that says they were getting ready to exercise the acceleration clause. Now, if you understand what an acceleration clause is right before it goes to foreclosure. That they're getting ready to take this house back. They're saying, if we don't get all the money right now, we're going to exercise this clause in the mortgage that accelerates the mortgage. And then they file for foreclosure. So mentally, and this is before I started writing things down, mentally, I saw it the way I wanted it to be. I did not put any energy into that letter. So I went through the process of getting the house refinanced out of this guy's name. The title company, I got out with the title company. They said, we need him to sign this document. It was a whole year I had not heard from this guy. About 2 weeks before I closed, he calls out the blue and says, Denise, I changed my number. I'm like, thank you. We met, he signed the letter so I could give it to the title company. We closed, well, I closed on the house, refinanced it. But I received a letter that was getting ready to do the acceleration clause, but I revised it. Now, that's why I can tell you, whatever you get, if you truly believe, you can revise it. I also had a real estate client. She didn't want to sign an extension, but I had done the work. So I was on the phone with her and she goes, well, I'm not signing the extension. If I don't sign the extension, you don't get paid, do you? I said, no, I don't. I didn't get upset. But I remember reading the law of revision. I hung up the phone with her and immediately this is what I wrote down. I said, all the repairs are done. I said, on closing, this lady hugged and thanked me for being her realtor. This was a Friday. Sunday, I got copies of the repairs that was made. Monday, I got a copy of the extension that was signed. Tuesday, we went to the closing and she hugged me and thanked me for being her realtor. That's why I'm standing here sharing this with y'all. It's real. Okay? But this is what I want you to do. You have to exercise this power. You see, the power that God has is so huge. If you don't exercise the power, you can't get any more. So let's say, for instance, you're at the gym, okay, and you're lifting weights. The first thing you need to make certain you can do is lift the bar. And then once you're successful in lifting the bar, you're going to add weights on the side. And then once you're successful lifting those weights, you're going to add some more weights on it, right? That's the same way you have to exercise the power that God has given each and every one of us. And that is our wonderful imagination. He's constantly asking, what do you want me to give you? What do you want me to give you? And the way he does it is through your imagination. He gave us instructions. Habakkuk 2:2. He said, write it down. Write your vision. Make certain that it's plain. Sometimes it may take a little while. He said, that's okay. It's going to happen. But it happens in a perfect time. Sometimes, this is how perfect it is. Sometimes you take him for granted because it happened is so smooth, and you start to think it would have happened anyway. Do not be fooled, because it is you that's doing it. We tend to get lazy. You should not be lazy when it comes to your mind, because your mind is what's bringing everything to you. Now, here is the exercise. Very, very important exercise that I want you to do every single night. And it's best if you do it, of course, at bedtime. This simple exercise. You write down what you want. Revise anything that you've experienced that day that you wish to change. And you don't have to tell a soul. Just write it down. Write it down in the way that you wished it would have happened. And then the follow-up is Psalms 4:4. Stand in awe and sin not. Commune with your own heart, your own imagination, upon your bed and be still. I like to go back to and sin not. Remember, we talked about sin is not what we were taught that sin is. Sin is when you miss your mark or you miss your aim. So after you've written down what you want, and if you're really good at it, you don't have to write it down. I said if you're really good at it. You do this exercise every night before you fall asleep. And then Psalms 4:4. You sin when you miss your mark. If you fall asleep every night angry, you're only going to bring more of that into your world. You failed yourself. You've sinned because you missed your mark. If you have children and you fall asleep and you are agonizing over your kids, it's like, man, my kid this and my kid that. Now you know you can do what? Revise it. When you know who you are, you shouldn't worry. Am I saying you're not going to worry? You will. You're going to make mistakes, but then I want you to remember anything that makes you uncomfortable is trying to tell you something. And you stop and you ask yourself, what is it trying to tell me? Okay, maybe you need to revise something. I just had this experience yesterday, personally. When you think that you know it all and you think you have experienced it all, God has a way of reminding you, no you don't. You still have work to do. If I lie to you and say, oh, everything's perfect, once you go and fall into the truth, everything's perfect. No, you have other lessons to learn. But when you realize, wait, step back. Okay, so what is this showing me? What is it that I need to be doing? Revise it. Rework it. I was running away from something. When I say run away from something, I have the tendency to block and cut off anybody. But I'm not fixing anything. I know, baby. You get a little Capricorn over there. I'm not fixing anything. The only thing that you're doing is allowing the sore to fester. is going to come to a head. You cannot ignore anything. You have to revise it. You are the operant power. So yes, I had to cry my eyes out. But then I had to snap back to reality and say, wait. I can't ignore anything. And the people that tend to get under your skin are the people that are close enough to you to reflect back to you what you need to work on. That's the pain that you get. It's the things that you need to work on. When you see something in somebody else that you do not like, it's the thing in you that you don't like. And that's why you have to revise it, because you're trying to create your heaven on earth. And you're trying to learn to improve. God doesn't put these things in our life to punish us. It is us that's doing it. But we have to be made aware that we're doing it. And we don't know that we're doing it unless we talk to somebody and let somebody else hear our conversations. Have a conversation with someone, especially someone with the ear to hear what you're saying. Say, wait, what did you just say? Because when you hear someone else say something that is blaming something outside of themselves, it's a reminder to you that, guess what, we're doing the same thing. We're blaming something outside of ourselves when we should be revising it for ourselves. So, Miss DeShonda shared something with us. She tried that exercise. She texted me this morning and said it worked. So, today, I want to sum this up and go back over the law of revision. If there's anything throughout your day, any piece of mail that you've received, any phone call, any disagreement that you've had with someone, revise it. You cannot run away from yourself. Yourself will continue to run after you until you face it. It is said that even in relationships, every time you leave a relationship, if you have not fixed the problem that was in the previous relationship, it's going to show up again. And then it's going to show up again until you get it, until you fix it. Because it's you that needs the work. So, we're going to revise our day. Remember, 1 Kings 3 and 5, we're going to ask God. God is asking us, what do you want? And we talk about this all the time. Let's not talk about what we don't want. Let's talk about what we actually want. I gave the examples of the real estate that happened. So Habakkuk 2 and 2, before you go to bed, write it down. And Psalms 4 and 4, commune with your own heart upon your bed and be still. Commune with your own imagination upon your bed. And as you imagine the best case scenario, and as you fall asleep, and then there's another scripture. It says, in my Father's house there are many mansions. And if it were not so, I would have told you, I go and prepare a place for you, and where I am, there you will be also. And the place he's preparing for you is the place you had in your imagination. Try it. There are a lot of people going to say, no, he was talking about David. Oh, he was talking about Solomon. He was talking about... No. It's talking about me. How does this apply to me? Every Wednesday, every Sunday, we hear stories about people in the Bible, the history of these people in the Bible. But nobody's telling you it's a story about you. It's you. So now when you hear those stories, you step back and you apply it to your life. It's like, wait a minute. If he's saying that he's telling Solomon, what do you want? He's telling me. Now he's telling me, okay, Denise, what do you want? And I say, Father, this is what I want. And not only am I going to tell my Father what I want, I'm going to say, thank you for giving it to me. I always follow it up with, thank you. Thank you for doing this for me. I am an appreciative child. I'm so grateful that he heard me. And he reminds me in his word, he said, If you heard you, I heard you. So I hear myself talking to me, so I know my Father hears me. So in every situation, the reason that I brought this up today, the law of revision, that you revise every single thing in your life. Anything that makes you uncomfortable, don't run away from it. Don't cut it off. Address it. Do not accept it. I got some work to do, you guys. That's why I'm sharing this. I really have work to do. So if there are things that I have to work on constantly, I know I'm not by myself. I'm not by myself. So that's why I talk about the law of revision. Anger. A foolish person is an angry person. And when I get angry, you got to be able, this is something that we have to be able to snap out of. Wait a minute, I'm angry. Why am I angry? Why is this person, no. Why am I allowing this person to make me angry? Nobody makes you angry. It is you that get angry. So what is it triggering you? Your feelings? And that's something I had to work on. So that's why I'm so passionate about if I tend to do really well with business in revising stuff. But it says your enemies are those of your own household, right? So we tend to think, we still want to go outside of ourselves, right? And think about, oh, my family, that's the enemies of my own household. No. It's your thoughts. Those are your enemies. So you start to think outside of yourself. There's nothing that's an outside job. Everything is an inside job. No one will upset you unless you allow it to happen. You choose to feel that way. If you're listening to God, then the devil must flee. What's the devil? Those negative thoughts. You can't think about two things at one time. Remember this. Until you change, your day will continue. Your life will continue to be the same every single day if you do not change something. For instance, every morning when I get up, every single morning, I have a glass of water. Never fails. I have one glass of water. I start my coffee. I go to the restroom. I come back and I drink my coffee and I write some notes. Every single morning is the exact, nothing changes. Every single morning I do the exact same thing at the exact same time. So I want to start intermittent fasting, right? So I can't put honey in my coffee.
No, you can't.
I can't put cream in my coffee. I got to drink black coffee. I know this. But every morning my hand gets to the honey and it puts it in my cup automatically. But in order for me to change, I have to change that. The habits we form us. We got to break some habits and we got to create new habits. In order for tomorrow to look different, this is a health coach right here. And as I'm talking about putting honey in my coffee, he's like, no, you can't do that. But I get up every morning and I do the exact same thing. I work out 6 days a week, but I eat every day. So I have to do something different. In order for me to get different results, my personal trainer said, man, Bertha, you strong. I said, well, I eat good. Yeah, I eat good. But I can't expect to get to the point I want to be at and not control my appetite. Not to be strict on writing it down. As a health coach, she would tell you, write down everything that you put in your mouth. Same thing, you're a personal trainer. Everything that you put in your mouth, write it down. So if that is so important, why can't you write down your day? Rewrite anything that bothers you. When we get up in the morning, we have this routine. We need to start a routine at night. How was your day? That's what you ask yourself. Erica, we had this conversation before everybody again. How do you talk to yourself? And you ask yourself, so how was your day? Look yourself in the mirror. So how was your day? You know what, my day was good, but this happened and this happened. And then you look yourself in the mirror and you ask yourself, so what you want me to do for you? Because God is in us, right? What do you want me to do for you? Well, I want to change this. Okay, change it. You can change it. It's okay. Because you imagined it anyway. Peel back those layers. You change it the way you want it to be. Thank you for joining us. Hope to see you on the next episode of Manifesting Your Gifts.